Hi everyone! So today we're going to be going over the new Morphe and Jaclyn Vault collection, and I'm super excited. I actually picked this up directly from the Morphe store because a Morphe store actually opened near me, so I didn't have to buy online this time. Also, if you don't know, the Vault collection was actually supposed to be released 2 months ago, but due to a lot of inconsistencies in the formula, Morphe actually pulled the launch date until August 14th. It was like 2 months later than the initial date that was supposed to come out, and how they handled it I thought was very professional, especially if they already know that a product's not good or not consistent up to par what they believe it should be. Then I think it's really good that they took responsibility and handled it. Now let's actually test it out. I unfortunately did not get the first batch, so I can't compare the first batch to now, but I did purchase this directly from the Morphe store, so I can say for sure that this is exactly what it should be on the market right now. So you can purchase the entire Vault collection for $49 off the Morphe site or directly from the stores. Ulta does also carry the Vault collection, but you have to purchase them individually from Ulta. That's the only thing. So you do save a few dollars if you do purchase the Vault, but if you already have the original collection, then maybe there's only a few that you are looking forward to purchasing. So let's go ahead and open up this baby and see how it looks. Here's the actual Vault collection that comes in. It comes in like this cardboard box, and then it has like a little pull string for you, and all the 4 individual palettes are inside for the Vault collection. So the first palette that's in the collection is the Ring the Alarm, and it's really cute because I really like that it has this like silver print on it. It's really reflective, and it actually has the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collaboration name on here, and then it has the actual colors printed on here to kind of give you an idea of what the palette color scheme is. This one looks like it's like a dark burnt orange ready, and this one is Ring the Alarm. So let's go ahead and open that up. So here is Ring the Alarm, and there is the color scheme. Next we have Bling Boss, and what's also really nice is these individual palettes actually have the name on there with the color printed on these little specks, so it kind of gives you, like I said, an idea of what the palette color scheme is. A little bit easier to find when you're digging it out from your collection. So here's Bling Boss. Next we have Armed and Gorgeous, and this one looks like this is the green one because it has like yellow green prints on here. So here is Armed and Gorgeous. And then last in the collection we have Dark Magic. So here is Dark Magic. This one is the much deeper blues and deep greens in the collection. Alright, and just for your reference, these individual palettes actually have the V2, so I'm assuming that means volume 2. So you can buy the individual palettes for $15, or you can buy the whole Vault collection for $49. So the first palette I'm going to go into today is the Bling Boss, and this is the purple palette. And this was actually one of the first palettes that caught my attention because it's so different from the original palette. So just for reference, here is the original Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. There is like this deep purple with shimmer, and then this very vibrant purple blue that was in the palette. So I feel like this palette, the Bling Boss, is probably one of the most different in the entire collection of the Vault collection. So I already do have my concealer on my eyes, and I do always set that with a translucent powder. So that's pretty much what I always do. I don't go in with anything else. Okay, so first I'm gonna go into Hush Hush of the Bling Boss palette, which I think is like a cool, like very light, like taupey shade that I feel like definitely leans a little bit more purplish pink, and I'm gonna use that as my transition. I want to go into Sparks. This one looks definitely much warmer, like it's like a ready purple. So I'm going to go into Sparks. That one's also a matte. I'm going to use the same shade, Sparks, and I'm just going to put it on my lower lash line. So I'm just going to look up So much easier when you look up when you're doing your lower lash line. I don't know, I just feel like that shadow really is deceiving because I feel like it definitely looks more like maroony red in the palette, but it definitely comes off way more purple on the eyelid once it's blended out. So next I'm gonna pick up Rockstar right here. This one's the very, very purpley shade in the palette. And I'm just going to create that halo. Okay, so that shade Rockstar was really easy to use and I think very easy to blend out. Unlike Sparks, I feel like Rockstar actually really matched the color that it looks like in the actual pan. So I want to use as many shades as possible, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up Mystic, which is the very deep plummy shade in the palette. And I'm just going to put this on the outer corners. And I'm not going to put it on my inner corner because I actually want my outer corners to actually be just a tad deeper. I'm gonna go ahead and go back into Rockstar and do my lower lash line again. Now finally getting to the shimmers. I've never ever had any problems with Morphe shimmers. I think they are actually one of the easiest shimmer like formulas to work with, especially from the original Jaclyn Hill palette. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Pizzazz right here. This is a shimmer shade. And I'm just going to pick up Dry with my Morphe M124 brush. Alright, MAC Fix Plus, Rose Scent. Alright. Then I'm going back and picking up Pizzazz. So I'm going back picking up Pizzazz right here. Yeah, so it's so much better wet. Alright, next I want to pick up Glitz and Glam right here. So I'm going to pick up Glitz and Glam. Alright, I'm going to pick up Glitz and Glam and I'm just going to place that right on my lower lash line. So much easier to put on your lower lash line when you're kind of looking up versus down. Just want to blend it together. I don't feel like I did a really good job of blending. Alright, so this is the finished look using the Bling Boss eyeshadow palette from the Vault collection. So just like a quick first impressions, I think that the palette was very, very easy to use. The only eyeshadow that I didn't really like, or I feel like wasn't my favorite, was this one right here called Sparks. Although it looks very like vibrant, like reddy and like maroon, it doesn't actually show like that on the eyes at all. It looks definitely more purple on the eyes, and I feel like it's not as pigmented compared to the other matte shades. So that was the only one. The shimmers I did not have a problem with at all. I feel like it's very similar to her original eyeshadow palette with Morphe. The next palette that I'm gonna be using is the Armed and Gorgeous one. I believe this one is like the army green one, and this one looks perfect, like the color palette for fall. There's like these caramel colors, this like camel caramel brown, and this army green. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this palette next. The first shade I'm going to be using today is this like mustard yellow called Access right here, and I'm going to use that as my transition today. So here is the original with the Morphe Jaclyn Hill, and then here is the Armed and Gorgeous Vault collection. And I feel like this one does have similar shades. Definitely the army green in the new one, there is no shade that matches exactly to the old one. So next, I'm going to pick up this orange shade called Agent. Alright, so I really want to get into this green shade called Top Secret. And I'm actually going to use a flat like concealer brush, and I'm going to actually put it all over my eyelid. I feel like the shade doesn't want to top over like each other. Like it doesn't layer very well. I don't know, maybe it would have been better or stuck better if I would have put like a base on, but so I'm just gonna go back and pick up Agents just a little, and I'm just gonna try to blend the edges together. Next, I'm gonna pick up Smooth Criminal right here. This one looks like it's like that perfect like caramel camel brown. And I'm just gonna put it on the outer corners just to deepen it. Alright, and just because I wouldn't use as many shades as possible, I'm gonna go into brow. I'm gonna go into Prow. So this one is definitely like a more deep chocolatey brown shade. And even further deepen that corner look. Okay, for my lower lash line, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this orange shade in here called Secure. Now with this palette, it does look like these two oranges are very, very similar. The Agent is just like a tad, has like a tad brown in it, and Secure, yeah, I feel like Secure is a little bit warmer. Agent just has like a tad brown in it, but they're so similar. But I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Secure and put that on under my entire lower lash line. I'm just gonna pick up this VIP shade right here. It's like a straight up white right here, but it's a shimmer shade, and I'm gonna put that right on my inner corners just to have that pop of highlight. Alright, I'm gonna pick up Guilt Trip right here, and I'm gonna put that on my lower lash line, just on the inner like one half. Alright, so this is the finished look using the Armed and Gorgeous palette. So just for my quick first impressions, it was okay to work with. I think definitely much easier, like all of the shadows compared to the Bling Boss. But honestly, the only shadow that I really liked or stood out was only Top Secret, which was this army green. For me, I have a lot of these warm oranges and yellows. I really didn't need this entire palette. Alright, moving on to our third palette, we have Ring the Alarm. Now this one definitely has more pinks, like a more variation of pinks and purples and orange. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this matte shade called Rush. This one is like a brownie orange, definitely warm. And I'm just gonna use that as my transition today. Okay, and that brush is not fluffy enough. I actually want to pick up this pink one, but it doesn't look like it's a matte. It looks like it has like a sheen to it, like it's a shimmer or something. So there's no matte pink in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up that pink shade called Bomb Ass. And let's see, yeah, it definitely has some shimmer in it. And I'm just gonna put it on my lid. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna wet my brush. Ooh. Once again, definitely more pigmented once wet. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this lighter shimmer pink called Lolly. I'm gonna wet it, and I'm gonna put it on the inner corner. Go over it, see if I can even build it up even more. So it has like a shift to it. So it looks pink in the pan, but, well, pink and gold, but it definitely shifts more gold once the light hits it. Okay, now I'm gonna go and pick up the purple in here called Framed. Right. So I'm just gonna try to deepen out this outer corner. I'm gonna just go ahead and pick up Mugshot. This one's like a little bit like in the middle brown from these like 3 or 4, and I'm just going to kind of blend the top. I feel like the previous shade kind of just blended away, and I'm just gonna lightly dust it on top. And from our lower lash line, I'm gonna pick up Boom right here. This one's like a sparkly, it looks like shimmer purple in it. It has some purples and some browns. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pick that up dry, and I'm gonna put that on my lower lash line. Yeah, so that shadow is actually very deceiving. It looks like purplish brown to me, but on the eyes it actually pulls very like orange and peachy. Okay, so just for my first impressions using the Ring the Alarm palette, I think this one is okay. I just feel like I wish that they would have had like a matte pink in here, because there's a lot of matte browns. Like there's like 4 really. These 3 are warm browns, and then you really just have this deep brown and then these 2 pinks, but the pinks are shimmer pinks. There's no matte pink that I wish it would have had. I think it was okay. Very similar formula to the other 2 palettes. Nothing really hard to work with. I just wish that it had a matte pink in here. And here is the Ring the Alarm palette. So you can see that there's not many pinks and purples, but if you were to compare, I think this side of the palette actually matches the most, because of the 2 pinks right here on the bottom of the new palette are shimmers, and the only pinks in the palettes on the original Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette are also shimmers. So I think these are probably the only comparison that they have in here. And of course there's the warm browns and warm oranges also. Alright, finally we're on to our last palette of the collection. This is Dark Magic. Woo! After 3 eyeshadows looks, oh, my eyes can't take it. You think doing lip swatches is bad? Try and do like 3 different looks. On to the 4th look, right? So here is Dark Magic, and this one is the more deeper, vampy shadows with the deep blues, deep greens. So this palette is the only one from the entire collection that has that matte cream beige shades for an all over lid shade. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. Just kind of dust it all over my eyelid, even though I did put on some translucent powder already. Alright, next I'm going to pick up this gray. It looks like a gray, like brown shade. This is Shh. So I'm going to go ahead and just use that as my transition. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this matte army green shade called Potion. So just as a comparison, like those 2 shades right there, I don't know if you can even tell the difference. So with that army green, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm using like a very tiny angled brush, and I'm just going to actually like kind of do a cut crease. Next, I'm going to pick up this very deep matte green called Inside Job with that same angled tiny brush from Luxie, and I'm just going to continue blending right under there. Alright, next I'm going to go into this deep blue called Busted. I'm going to put that right on the outer corner. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and pick up Power Cut, which is that shimmery silver shade, the one that I dug my finger in, and I'm going to put that right here. Oh wow. That color is really pretty, and it doesn't even need anything. Because I'm curious, I'm just going to go ahead and spray it. And then I'm going to just go back and pick up Power Cut. And then I'm going to try it wet just to see how it looks like. The lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with this army green called Potion. I'm going to go back into Busted, that deep blue. Just getting a little, and then I'm just going to put it right there on the outer corner. So I think within these 2 palettes, compared to the original and Dark Magic, the only really similar shade that I can find is the dark green ones, which they are right there, right next to each other. So that's the only one that I feel like is very similar to the original palette. Other than that, I feel like all the shades are very different. I had no problem using any of these shadows at all either. They blend out very easily. Very similar to the other palettes, where I feel like all of these eyeshadow palettes, the mattes, they aren't as pigmented as what I anticipated compared to the original Morphe Jaclyn Hill. I think that it does take time to build up. I do feel like if you already have the original Jaclyn Hill palette, you probably don't need the entire Vault collection. So if you don't have either of these palettes, which one should you buy? I think that you're better off getting the original Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, just because I feel like it already has pretty much almost every color you could need. The only difference that I feel like if you might want the Vault collection, or maybe one or the other, is because I think these are more travel friendly. It does also come with a mirror, and maybe you can customize more, like, you know what, you go, I just want the purple palette, or I just want this like fall orangey with that army green shadow palette, versus carrying a big palette like this is not very travel friendly. For me, I still travel with this, it's not a problem, but this one doesn't have a mirror, so you know, that is something to consider. For me, I just feel like the Vault collection has a lot of repeat shades. Just looking at it, like for example, in Armed and Gorgeous and Dark Magic, you have these two army greens that are very, very similar. And then even just with the oranges, I feel like there's so many similar oranges, like these two, even in one palette, which I'm very surprised. Like, I think the most different palette that I actually really gravitate towards at first when I saw the launch, it was Bling Boss. And it's just because I feel like purples is really pretty, and I feel like it's really in right now. And I think it's one thing that on the original palette it really was lacking, because you really only had this shimmer purple right here. So for me, if I had to pick any of one of the 4 palettes, I think I would have just purchased this Bling Boss one, just because I already have the original. But then again, if you don't have the original and you're trying to figure out which one is for you, it really depends on what colors you want to get. Do you want something that has everything? Because if you do, then get the original Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. So let me know, for those who have picked it up, what is your favorite palette? And for those who haven't, what will you be picking up, or what have you picked up? I know a lot of people who have the original probably most likely won't pick up the entire collection, but for me, I did, just because I want to be able to review it and show it and try it on for you guys. So don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.